welcome to today's webinar entitled Sail the Celestial Seas. This webinar is brought to you by Baxter Media, and my name is Eilish. I am your host from Baxter Media. So we're pleased to have Stephanie McDonald with us today. She is Celestyal's Business Development Manager for Canada. So thank you, Stephanie, for joining us.
All right, Yasu Travel Partners, and thank you so much, Eilish, for putting this presentation, everything together for us. If you do have any questions at any time, like she was saying, please put them in the chat box. We have our awesome Chrissy Murphy. She's our trade support executive, and she will be in the background answering any questions that you might have. So without further ado, the adventure awaits. Let's talk to you and tell you all about an amazing celestial cruise. So why would you book a celestial cruise? There's so many amazing products out there. What makes us different and stand out in the crowd? Really, we are all about destination immersion. We spend majority of our time in port. In fact, you're rarely on board, which is great. I mean, our ships are beautiful and you're going to enjoy the time on board, but it really is about the destination that you're going to. We have flexible travel, meaning that you don't always have to start and stop your cruise in the exact place that everybody else starts and stops their cruises on. So you don't always have to do Athens round trip. You can start somewhere in between and come back around. So I'll show you a bit about that when I look at our itineraries. We have some amazing, authentic experiences. Who knows Greece quite like Celestyal? It literally is, we're a Greek-owned and operated cruise line. It is our backyard. It's our bread and butter. So we're going to be able to offer your guests those authentic experiences in this beautiful place that they get to call home. And then we have small to mid-size ships. So kind of that Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Not too big, not too small. We kind of fit just right for guests that are looking for something a little bit more intimate, but they don't necessarily want to pay the price point that a more intimate vessel is going to offer to them. So when I say that we are all about destination cruising, we really are. We're going to offer you some unmissable locations and blockbuster stops that you'll be able to experience in the Eastern Mediterranean and the Persian Gulf, which is new to us, and I'll explain a bit more about that. We offer a significant amount of time in port. And when I go through the itineraries, you'll see that where most times we are one of the last ships in port, if not the last ship in port, or we're going to be doing late night stays or even overnights. And we're going to be able to offer our guests, more immersive tours, bringing them face to face with the culture, the people, the history. And my personal favorite is always going to be the flavors that you'll experience when you're in this part of the world. So in Greek, they have a thing called Greek philoxenia. And basically what that means is the art of being hospitable and welcoming. It's kind of their version of Southern charm. You're not just going to get that when you're ashore, when you're visiting these beautiful stops. You're also going to have that same experience when you're on board, because our crew are amazing. And I know everybody says it, that they have the best crew, but we definitely do. And one of the things that I'm super proud of is that a lot of our crew have some significant amount of tenure with us. In fact, I don't know that there's many that have less than 10 years. And so what that means to me is happy crew, happy guests. And our guests definitely is reflected when they come on board. They're enjoying the experiences they have with our crew. So let me introduce you to our fleet. We're a very small fleet, smaller fleet of 2 at the moment. Who knows? We may build later on, but at the moment we've got 2 beautiful vessels. Our first one is called the Celestyal Discovery. A little bit of information about the Discovery. She's 42,000 tons, and we just took possession of her, I believe it was early December or late November. This particular ship came to us a little bit quicker than we had thought. And so at this moment, we are revitalizing her. We are redoing the inside to bring her up to the celestial style that our guests love and want when they come on board with us. So keep your eyes peeled to our Facebook groups or our websites, because more details to come specifically about the Celestyal Discovery and what we're doing on the inside of this ship. But when we're sailing, this is really where the magic happens, is when we're actually going in and doing these beautiful itineraries. While the ships can be great, it's where we're going to go. And on the Discovery, we do our shorter itineraries for the most part. Now, you might say, I'm not going to come all the way from North America and do a 3 or 4 or 5 night cruise, 7 at the absolute minimum. But you might be booking a 2-week package for your guests in the Mediterranean or wherever, and they want to add a Greek component, but they don't necessarily have a whole 7 days to dedicate it to it. You can cruise on Discovery on a 3-night and do a lot of ports of call in a very short amount of time. Now, these are busy. I'm not going to lie. This is a go, go, go itinerary, but it's a lot more comfortable than doing the ferries. And it's definitely more economical than flying and getting your hotels and everything on your own. So with our short itineraries, this is our iconic Aegean. This one will sail in March and November, and we port out of Lavrion. So Lavrion is about 35 minutes the opposite direction of Athens, down to the city center of Athens. Beautiful little portside city. It's a lovely little spot to check out. But one thing to note here is that on our short itineraries, we sail early. On this one, we sail at 11 o'clock in the morning. I know that's earlier than you've probably sailed on cruises before, but it's because we've got places to go and things to see. So that afternoon, we're going to pull into Mykonos, and you'll be able to experience a beautiful Mykonos sunset. The next day, we'll be in Kusadasi for the morning, which is plenty of time to be able to experience Ephesus, which is what majority of our guests will go to when going into Kusadasi. Then we'll sail in the afternoon, and you can enjoy your time maybe in the spa, take a nap, what have you. Then we'll go into Patmos for the evening, then Santorini the following day, and then ending our cruise back in Lavrion. During the summer season, we change it up just a little bit, where we actually sail at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and get into Mykonos still later that day, but a couple hours later. And then what we do with, instead of having a full day in Santorini, we do Crete in the morning, sail in the afternoon, and then Santorini in the evening. Changing it up for the 4-night. So the 3-night was going from a Friday to a Monday. Now the 4-night will go from a Monday to a Friday. Again, very similar itinerary, except that we add in roads on this particular itinerary. And then on a few of the dates, again with Santorini, we'll split it up and do Crete in the morning, sail during the afternoon, and then get into Santorini in the evening. So lots of experience and lots of opportunity to be able to see the ports. But again, it is a lot more fun to do it on a cruise ship than it is to try to do it on those ferries. Now, the ship, the Discovery, will do some 7-night itineraries, but not until the fall of 2025, where we hope to be able to cruise our 3-continent itineraries again. So the 3-continent itineraries right now is scheduled for the fall of 2025, where we will do out of Athens, a day at sea. Then we'll be into Port Said, into Cairo for the day. Then Ashdod, Israel, potentially. Again, these are subject to change. Limassol, Rhodes, Kusadasi, and Athens. One thing I will say about Egypt, we had the opportunity of doing this itinerary, Chrissy and I, back in November, and we went into Alexandria, Egypt, and the same amount of times from 6:30 until 10 o'clock at night. By the time we were up early, got on the bus, went into the city. It's about a 2.5, 3-hour drive, so it's time for a little nap on that bus ride in. We had plenty of time to see everything that we would have wanted to see in Egypt, meaning we saw the Sphinx, we saw the pyramids, we went into the pyramids, we went on a cruise on the Nile River, we had a lovely lunch, what else did we do? So many different things, got to do some shopping and all of that, and still made it back. And I feel like I've got a good idea of I got to see what I wanted to see in that particular area, which was great. And I felt very comfortable. One thing to note for Canadians is that you know that we need a visa to go into Egypt, but if you go on a cruise with us, you do not, because we get a blanket visa for you. So just a few photos I've thrown in throughout the presentation. This is Athens. Obviously, we recommend anybody who's going to come in for a cruise, please come in a day or so early. You want to see Athens. You especially want to see the Acropolis all beautifully lit up at night. There's some great, areas to go, and you can wander all the way up to the Acropolis and check it out. I will mention, you'll see the uneven terrain of the stones here. You definitely want to have appropriate foot attire. You'd be surprised how many people did not have. So just something to note for your clients. It seems like a simple thing to say, but it really does make a big difference. And when you're done at the Acropolis, when you come down, you're immediately in the Plaka. And the Plaka is like a main shopping and touristy area of Athens, but it's not just for tourists. There's a lot of locals that will come and hang out in here because there's some great shopping, great bars, great restaurants. It's a lot of fun. It's definitely a really cool vibe.
How are you feeling? How are you feeling now? I'll be the friend that is standing there. I'll be the hand holding all your cares. I see you now, I'm not going anywhere. Way back home. We'll find our way back home. No, we'll never have to walk alone. We'll find our way back home. Oh, I'm coming home.
So our second ship is our Celestyal Journey. The Journey is the ship that we offer our 7-night product on. Well, there's a few shorter itineraries, but for the most part, our 7-night product. So a lot of us in North America, especially on your FIT bookings, you're more than likely looking at the Celestyal Journey. And we're really excited. We actually were able to take possession of this ship. Actually, it's almost just shy of a year ago. Actually, my very first day with Celestyal, I got to walk on board the ship, and they were just taking all the plastic and everything off of the chairs as we had just acquired the vessel. And you can tell from just the cover, just the look and the feel of the ship, from the photos and the video and everything, that this really does appeal to the North American market. This is definitely something that our clients would love and enjoy, even though keeping in mind that we're going to be ashore so much. So like I said, the ship is 55,000 tons. She holds 1,260 guests. Now that's a double occupancy. We do have the ability for triples and quads, but we typically, majority of our guests, it is double occupancy that they end up getting. There's a lot of pool space, which I love. In fact, this particular photo is my favorite. This is where, when I was on board and we were sailing, this is where I spent the majority of my time. Kind of felt like I was on my own little private yacht, which was lovely. There's also some really great dining options on board. So if you're not choosing to dine ashore, or we're sailing at that time and you're dining aboard, first of all, it's an open dining concept. So you can come and go at whatever time you want. And our main dining room is called the Thalassa. And here, again, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It is open dining. You will come in. You can either dine on your own with whom you're traveling with, or if you want to be seated with some other guests, that's fine. We have the buffet, which is the taverna, and the taverna is breakfast, lunch. There is a tea time service, and then also dinner. So one of my favorite things in the morning, I went up and I got a fresh smoothie made every day up here, which was quite lovely. And again, there's lots of great snacks to have. Maybe you're not feeling like you want to get dressed up for dinner. Not that you have to, but you want a quick dinner because it's been a long day and you want to just quickly grab something and then head down. This is a great spot to go to. Or up on the pool deck, we have an a la carte restaurant called Fig and Honey. And in here, you're going to find gyros and just some light Greek bites that you can have. As I said, this is an a la carte location. For specialty dining, there's a few different restaurants that you can choose from. One of them is called Grill Seekers, and this is going to be our steak and seafood restaurant. I found it really hard not to fill up on all of the appetizer options that you have available. One of them is this beautiful charcuterie board that or antipasto, I guess is what they call pasto board, that they come out that had shrimp or prawns, I guess, that was almost the size of my hands. It was pretty amazing. I could have just eaten that and been done with my meal, but it continued on with a beautiful steak afterwards. We have our smoked olive restaurant, which is kind of your mix of Mediterranean style food, Mediterranean and Greek restaurant. Any of our guests that are staying in our junior suites and above are able to go into either smoked olive or into Pink Moon, which is our Asian restaurant, and they don't have to eat what's on the specialty menu. They can actually get the menu from the main restaurant and have it in here as well. So it just gives our guests an opportunity to change locations, to have a bit of a different vibe and feel when they are going in for dinner. However, I love the specialty restaurants as far as what the menu offerings here. Pink Moon is an Asian fusion, which was phenomenal, definitely worth checking out. But maybe there's somebody in your party of guests that don't necessarily want that food. They want what's on the main menu. So it kind of fits for both here, which is quite lovely. And for that really special occasion, you can head into the chef's table, where we offer a 2, 4, and 6 course meal. And again, this one varies in pricing depending on what your particular number of courses is that you would like to have. Everybody's got to do the same number of courses, otherwise it doesn't work out quite well. And then for different bars and lounges, the journey really enhances the amount of locations that we have to go. My personal favorite was the Blue Bar. It seemed to be the area that we all kind of congregated after the fact. It was just a really beautifully centrally located area, and the bar staff were fantastic. They were coming around and doing magic tricks and everything for us. And then they ended up putting on a magic show towards the end of the cruise in the Martini Bar. And because we felt like we had gotten to know them throughout the cruise, it was so lovely to have this experience in the Martini Bar. You were cheering on your new friends, which was pretty cool. Now, there isn't a cruise without a Martini Bar, right? You definitely want to check that out. Of course, you've got to have that martini, or maybe go and do a little sing-along with the piano player at also in the Martini Bar. Now, at 55,000 tons, it doesn't take too long to get from one side of the ship to the other. We've got a beautiful centrum in here that will offer our reception desk, so our guest relations, as well as our shore excursions department. Hopefully, prior to the cruise, your guests have pre-booked as many of their shore excursions as possible. But if they have any questions, issues, concerns, or anything, our amazing shore excursion department are definitely there to assist them. In fact, they'll probably spend more time with our shore excursion people because they're out on the tours than they will with anybody else on board. When they do come back, they're going to need a great place to rest their head. And our staterooms are quite lovely here. So this is our interior Cosmos cabin. And so the rooms are a little bit larger than even in some of the other ships that I've been on before. There's just a lot more storage space and everything here as well. Nice large size sofa, which is actually about a third larger than the standard size sofa that you will find on a cruise ship. And the nice thing is also the elevation of the bed. It's a little bit higher, that it can actually fit some of those bigger hard case suitcases. So you're able to tuck them away and get them out of your space. But this is a really great room. This is the one I was very fortunate to be able to stay in while I was on board, which is our Dream Junior Suite. I did not bring anywhere near enough clothes to take up all of the storage space that I had in this stateroom, which was lovely, and a really nice size makeup area that is across from the sofa. You can see how much larger the sofa is here as well. And then a really large balcony for you to be able to enjoy, maybe have that cup of coffee or a glass of wine as we're coming in or coming out of port. But the creme de la creme, definitely the pièce de résistance is going to be our Stargazer suite. This is our penthouse suite. We call it the Stargazer suite. You've got a beautiful king-size bed here, as well as a large walk-in closet. The bathroom has a separate shower and bathtub. And again, a beautiful living room, large dining space with a really, really big balcony for our guests to be able to enjoy as well. Now, this ship will start sailing on March the 2nd, doing our Heavenly Adriatic. And this is a new itinerary to us, but I'm really excited about it because it just opens up part of the destinations that into the other side of the Mediterranean a bit. So with this, we have Athens. So we'll sail out of the port of Piraeus, which is about 25 minutes from downtown Athens or from the Plaka. We'll go into Kefalonia, overnight in Dubrovnik, Kotor, Montenegro. We'll go into Bari, Italy, Corfu, Greece, Katakolo, Greece, and then Athens as well. So first sailing is going to be on board March the 2nd. Hopefully we will maybe see you or some of your clients on board with us as well. And then in the summertime, we just change up this itinerary just a little bit. So we offer a little bit more time at sea. Athens at sea, Kotor, Split, Venice, a day at sea, Katakolo, and then Athens. And this will be in for the summer of 2025. But the majority of our itineraries in the summertime are idyllic Aegean. And this is the most popular itinerary that we have. As you can tell, it's very port intensive. There's no sea days. It is a port every single day, but it is such a great way to be able to experience Greece and to really, really get an authentic experience here. So we'll start out of Athens again. Our first port of call is going to be Thessaloniki. Thessaloniki is the second largest city in Greece. It's also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. There's a lot of tombs that you will go and see in this area, and they also have a pretty amazing food on foot tour if you're a bit of a foodie. The next day, we're going to go into Kustasi, into Ephesus. Then we have Crete the following day. And this is really where the thing that really stands out is our time in Santorini and our time in Mykonos. Now, if you've ever been to Santorini before, you probably know that we're up at the top of a mountain, and what goes up has to come down, right? So you're going to be at the top of this mountain exploring and everything. But once your tour and stuff is over and you've got to make your way back to the ship, there's only two ways to do it. And one of which is going down the donkey path, which we don't necessarily recommend because donkeys will do what donkeys will do. And it's not so pleasant. Or you can go down the funicular or the cable car. So the cable car, though, it's 6 cable cars that accommodate 6 people at a time. And when you've got other cruise ships in port, it can take some time. Now, everyone else is sailing 6, 7, 8, maybe 9 o'clock at night. We're not sailing until 12:30 at night. So while there's a lineup of people waiting to go down that cable car, our guests are enjoying a lovely meal, maybe some wine, watching the sunset, and then making their way down the mountain later on when it's dark and seeing Santorini all beautifully lit up at night. Same thing with Mykonos. Mykonos is known for its nightlife. It's known for its parties. It's known for its beach clubs. Now, you might say, there's no way I'm going out until 2 o'clock in the morning. Well, you're on vacation. The spirit might move you. You never know. But what some of our guests will do is they'll go out and tour during the day. They'll come back on board for dinner. Then they'll head back out in the evening and explore Mykonos at night and maybe find a local restaurant that's got some live music and whatnot going on. Last stop is going to be in Milos, which you will feel like you are walking on the face of the moon here. And then we end our cruise back in Athens. So just a few photos here that I put in of Santorini. The last time I was there was in March. So I do have a jacket and a scarf on because it was a little bit chilly. But it was actually quite nice because I didn't have to Photoshop anybody out of my photos because there wasn't anybody there. Keep in mind that these ports really open up about mid-March. So April is a really good time too. If people are wanting to go the beginning of the season, there's a really good time before it starts getting super, super busy. On October the 12th of this year, we will offer our only one time this year, the Steps of Paul itinerary. So here, it's a religious itinerary for sure, but it doesn't have to be. If you're not religious, there's a lot of great things that you can see along the way, but those are a few of the key highlights as we're going through this itinerary. So we'll do Athens, Thessaloniki, Kavala, Istanbul, Dikili, Kustasi, Patmos, and ending back in Athens. Now, if you haven't been to Kustasi before, I highly recommend it. It is one of my favorite ports. It's absolutely beautiful. When you first come into port, this is what you're going to see. It's their version of the Hollywood sign, this big, bold Kustasi. And this picture was taken from my iPhone. So you're really up into the heart of the city the moment you actually pull into Kustasi. But what most people are going to do is go into Ephesus. If you've done Ephesus before, don't think, I don't want to go back to Kustasi. There's a lot more to do in Kustasi. There's some great shopping. You can go and do go and check out a Turkish bath. If you're there in the heat of the summer, they have a really great water park as well. But if you're going, you really need to see Ephesus. And Ephesus, I've seen a lot of ruins and stuff throughout my lifetime. This is definitely one. I've done it a couple times, and every time I see something new and I experience something different. You're going to walk the path that Cleopatra once walked. You're going to see where the Nike swoosh originated from. You're going to learn where the first toilets came from, oddly enough. This is a picture here of the Library of Celsius. You've got a couple of options here. You can do just Ephesus, or you can add on a package that will bring you to Mary's house. It said that Virgin Mary once resided here. Or you can go to the terrace houses, which is what I did the last time. And the terrace houses are like the original row homes. They're the very first row homes, and they're just starting to be excavated. In the photo here, there's about 5 homes, so they're pretty large. But one of the cool things about this is you're walking over the areas that are just starting to be excavated, and you can see you're walking over these glass stairs, and you learn about how they started to bring in plumbing, how they started to bring in heat and everything into their home. So it's pretty cool. And then once you're done this, you're up at the top of the terrace houses, and they tell you if you look to the left, there's all these beautiful green fields, and there's apparently hundreds more of these terrace houses still yet to be excavated underneath there. So this is just the beginning of what you can see here. Is pretty neat. Once you're done that, we're going to bring you over to a carpet making factory. Or the Turkish rugs. So unfortunately, the art of Turkish rug making is a bit of a dying art now. And so what the government in Turkey has done is that they've set up this school, let's say, we'll call it a school. And what they do is they bring in these women from the neighboring communities, and they put them on a 2-year apprenticeship to teach them all about how to make these beautiful Turkish rugs. Then when they're done their 2-year apprenticeship and they go home, they're sent home with all of their equipment. So then they have the ability to have a local business and hopefully teach it to their children and their children's children, etc., and keep that amazing thing going on. Once you're done learning about it and seeing how intricate all of this is, then the gentlemen literally roll out the red carpet for you, and they start bringing out all the different types and styles and stuff, and they encourage you to come and feel it and step on it and notice the difference between some of the different styles going all the way up to from the least expensive to the most expensive. This particular carpet is made out of silk. It's worth about, I think, $40,000 US, but don't worry, if you buy it, they will happily ship it home for you for free. Now, this particular ship, when she comes out the journey, we're going to start by doing a few shorter itineraries to get us into our 7-night rotation. So this is a neat opportunity if anybody wants to do some back-to-backs, so some consecutive cruises. We'll start out in Athens on March the 23rd of this year, and then we're going to do Santorini, we'll do Rhodes, Samos, and then overnight in Istanbul. I'll show you a few pictures of Mykonos here before I show you the next itinerary. I was in Mykonos. There are more cats than people in Mykonos. If you haven't been there before, you'll notice there's more cats than people. And then the next itinerary is on March the 28th, and it will continue doing so Istanbul, Chios, Greece, Kos, Greece, Mykonos, ending back in Athens. And then a few photos here of Rhodes. Next time I'll put those right back to back from each other. This actual photo is here in Rhodes. This is the Acropolis of Lindos. And the Acropolis of Lindos is the second largest acropolis in Greece, and it's right on the seaside in Rhodes. It's about 55 kilometers or so from Rhodes. And when you're done that part of the tour, you go into the ancient medieval city of Rhodes, and you actually get to walk the path that the knights once walked, and you'll learn all about the history and everything of here. It's a beautiful experience. And then you're within about maybe a 5-minute walk to get back to the ship. And if you want to add on the third itinerary to make it that much more, you can do on April the 1st, we'll do Athens at sea, Kotor, Montenegro, Corfu, Greece, Crete, Greece, ending back in Athens. So we do a 5-night, a 4-night, and a 5-night. So, you never know. Maybe your guests are looking for something unique and interesting to come up this year. This is a great opportunity. Oh, and I've got one last quick video for you. Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, we're so excited. We we've been a cruise that will stop in January, February, and the first 2 weeks of March, but we're happy to announce that we are going year round. And our first itinerary is going to be our ancient Athens to dazzling Doha itinerary. So this one, we will start out in Athens. We will go to Kushadasi, have a day at sea. Then we're going to do Port Said, Egypt. We'll transit the Suez Canal. Then we're in another stop in Egypt. Then we've got 5 days at sea. So we'll definitely keep you well entertained on board our beautiful journey during those 5 days. We'll go into Oman, a day at sea, Dubai, and then and that cruise in Doha. So this will happen on October the 26th this year. And then again in 2025 in the fall on November the 1st. And then of course, we'll have our ones coming back over to bring our ship back into Greece in the spring. But while she's there, we're going to do our typical 7-night itineraries. We're calling it Desert Days. So this will be on board the Journey. We're going to go out of Doha. We'll do Bahrain. So just a few things about the different areas. Again, we'll go into Dubai as well. So Dubai is cool thing about Dubai, it has those iconic skylines. That's something to note. If you haven't been, I've always, on my mind, I've always wanted to see the Burj Al Arab. It's always been top of my list, so I'm excited about that one. In Bahrain, they're really well known, obviously, for the Formula One. We'll go into Oman again. We're going to do Sir Bani Yas Island. Has anybody ever heard of Sir Bani Yas Island? Interesting, right? I hadn't either, which was kind of neat. And doing a little bit of research on it, if you are into animals, so the whole island is 87 square kilometers, I believe it was what I had looked up. And the original, owner of the island or person started, they had made it more of a sanctuary for animals. So you have a really great opportunity when you're here to be able to experience and see animals out in the wild. Then we're going to go into Abu Dhabi, and then we're going to end that cruise in Doha. So these are the itineraries that we're going to do for November, December, January of this first season, and then November and December, and then into January, end of 25 into 26. Now, if you're not familiar with our fares, we have 2 really easy fares available for you. So when you're booking your guests on a cruise with Celestyal, the first thing that they have is our pricing is called the experience fare. So Celestyal experience fare, and that's our opening price. And what your guests are going to receive with that is their onboard dining. They're going to get their drinks at lunch and dinner, beer and wine, similar to what they would if they were on a river cruise, an $80 shore excursion credit, entertainment on board, and then their gratuities. If they wish to upgrade to the Celestyal Plus fare, what they're going to get with that is 25% off specialty dining. They're going to get an additional $80 shore excursion credit, 1 hour of Wi-Fi a day, and then our premium drink package. So to move up from the experience to the plus experience, it's approximately $250 per person on a 7-night cruise to do so. With that 1 hour of Wi-Fi, it might not sound like it's a lot, but keep in mind we're in port a lot, and we've got Starlink now, so our Wi-Fi is actually really quick. It's not a use it or lose it. It will roll over to tomorrow. If you didn't use it today, that's fine. In regards to the drinks, the premium package that we have, or the plus package, sorry, that we have, what you're going to get here is any drink that is €7 or under. There is an extra package above that if your guest, depending on what it is that you consume as far as your beverages are concerned, and we can, look at that more on a one-on-one basis. But one thing I do want to make mention of and make sure that you're familiar with is the shore excursion credits. So the shore excursion credits must be utilized prior to the cruise, meaning your guests must go in and book that, or must tell you, and you can go in and book the shore excursion for them. And then once they've utilized that credit, anything that they book over and above that for shore excursions prior to the cruise, you are going to get you're going to get your commission on. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind there too. And it's good for us as a company to know exactly what shore excursions everybody's booking prior to the cruise, so we can make sure that nobody misses a tour that they really wanted to be on. We also ask when you're making a booking to please put in their language of choice. We try our hardest to make sure that we get the shore excursions in the language that if we can make it work, that your guests would prefer to be spoken to in. Okay, so it's not a guarantee, but we definitely try our hardest to be able to accommodate all of our guests with that. If you are a groups agent, keep us in mind for your group. So our group's policy is 8 staterooms, 16 people. Your 17th person is considered your tour conductor, so you get your TC. And then we've also have group amenity points. So with your group amenity points, you can do various things. One of my personal favorites that you can do, depending on how many points you have, is that you can move your whole entire group from experience to plus experience. So that's a $250 savings per person on that. So again, that's when you can meet with your BDM. They can go through with you exactly what you should utilize your points for, and they can help guide you in that way. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to go into our wave.celestial.com. This is our Wave portal. And in here, you'll just have to go in and get yourself registered. Here, you'll find all the marketing information that you need for us, our Wave programs for 2024, marketing tools, our story, our team, and then bookings as well. So you've got your marketing tools, calendar, brochures, gap points, and group information. Just a good amount of information that we have right here in our Wave portal. So with that, I want to say thank you, and I will open it up to any questions. Anything? Hi, guys.
Thank you, Stephanie. Amazing presentation. And I know I said at the beginning that I wish I was on one of those ships right about now, but now I wish it even more.
Good.
No snowing here. We do have
my plan worked.
Yes. We do have some questions that Chrissy was answering in the chat box, which is great. But maybe we'll just mention the answers verbally, just so people who are watching the recording can also get those great answers. So the first question was, in the summertime, are there many families with kids in the 13 to 16 age group? And Chrissy mentioned that it is a family-friendly experience, but not heavy on the younger guests.
Yeah, as far as we do have a children's location, but in all honesty, you're there for the ports of call. You wouldn't leave your child on board and go off and experience that particular port of call. I know it's something you can do with some of the bigger brands, but with us, it really is about the destination and the experience that you're going to have ashore. But there is areas that if the kids are on board and they're like, I just need to get away from mom and dad, there's spots for them to go in and have a little bit of their own time.
Yeah. That makes sense. And then the second question in the chat box was, Santorini and Mykonos dock or tender in these ports? And Chrissy answered, all ships tender in Santorini. We tender into Athenios, the new port, for the excursions. You also, the option if you disembark here, then tenders are available for the old cruise port throughout the day. Mykonos will vary, typically can dock, but may need tender, and shuttle is available from dock to main village area.
Yep, that's exactly accurate. Perfect.
Amazing. Love it. And then Susan has a question here also. What is the policy for agent rates?
So agent rates, easy enough. So if you are thinking that you want one, you will just need to email us at insidesales@celestial.com. What ship and date. And I believe, Chrissy, should we already have a booking for them and then they email us, like if they put a booking on hold, or would you prefer it the other way around?
So you had it correct. They would want to, obviously the first thing they want to make sure that they're registered with us. And all of our agent rates are available by request and by the ship's availability. So what happens is we would typically ask the agent to make the booking, forward it to our team. We forward it over to reservations and allocations, and they will let us know if it is approved.
Perfect. I did notice a question here. How do we book in the Wave portal? So you do need to be registered with us. Chrissy, would you mind putting the registration link in the box? So you do need to be registered with us. If you haven't done so already, we definitely want to get you signed up to be able to sell us. And then with that, the TSSE team, they send you an email that's got a whole plethora of information on it. And one of which is the link to go into our actual booking portal and a video to walk you through exactly how you go about making a booking, but you do need to get registered with us first. So I'm not sure if we see the registration link or not. I can grab it.
I put it in the Q&A part.
Oh, you're the best. Thank you so much.
All good. Then there was another question. I thought maybe it'd be one that'd be better for you to answer instead of me typing things out. It was about, it says, can you talk about on-ship activities, theater, cooking specialties, etc.?
So yeah, on the ship, so the itinerary that we did, of course, it was super jam packed, but we did have one sea day, and they did one of the things got the lovely smell of the cooking class I was presenting in the room next door, and all I could smell was the cooking class. It was so good, but they do that, and then of course our entertainment department, they put on a lot of activities and such up on the pool deck space for you guys. There's going to be shows in the main show lounge. There might be lectures on whatever the particular protocol is that we're going to be in the next day. Like our next protocol was Egypt. So of course we had an Egypt specialist, and they were on talking to us all about the history and the significance and what we were going to see and experience there, not just from a shore excursion perspective. It was actually just a lot of really great information about the area that I didn't know as much about Egypt at the time. So it varies depending on where the ship happens to be going. But we do, of course, offer a lot of more chill time. We're not going to be constantly on the PA system telling you, you know, this is happening there or this is happening there, which is great because we want you to be able to relax during that time. We will put it in the program. We're working on the app. So hopefully when you get on board, when you get on board, so hopefully I'll see you all on board sometime. The app will be ready to go for you. But yeah, it is a good mix of keeping you active if you need to be active. And then, you know, not so much if you're the type of person that needs to just relax up on the pool deck space. And there's beautiful pool deck space too. So anything else?
Looks like no more questions are coming in right now, but I will share the insidesales@celestial.com email address when we distribute the recording as well, just so everyone has that. And yeah, there's another in the Q&A. How are the gratuities done on board?
So gratuities are part of your package. So you don't have to worry about gratuities at all. It's already part of it. So it's part of the experience, and then like the Celestyal experience package. And then when you move up, if you move up to the plus, it's automatically in there. So gratuities, you don't need to worry about. Keep in mind, if you wish to tip over and above, that is a personal preference, and you can do so at your own leisure. But otherwise, our gratuities are already included in the price of the cruise.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm. It's nice not having all those add-ons over and over again. It's great also in regards to the shore excursions to have them pre-done prior to. I've never walked off a ship with such a low onboard account because I didn't spend anything when I was on as much because I had pre-done all the stuff prior to, and then things were included, like having the beverages, like having the gratuities and all that stuff included. It really is helpful. And when you keep in mind anything that's included, that's stuff that you're getting paid on, right? If it's already in what the price of the cruise is and not over and above, those are things that you're getting commissioned on. So, you know, it's nice to have like, here's the price, guys, and you tell your clients, and then they don't need to worry about it too much more.
We're getting a lot of love in the emoji section, as you're saying.
I love the emoji section.
Going like this and hearts, and so I think that the chat agrees that that's a great thing.
Perfect.
So yeah, looks like we're good for questions for now. But Stephanie, I did message you the lucky draw prize winner. We did the randomization of all the folks who are in the webinar room right now. And so feel free to announce the winner.
I would love to, but I have no idea where you messaged that to me. And I'm looking, but I can't find it. I'm sorry.
If it's all right with you, I can announce.
Please, that would be great. Thank you.
The winner was Elaine C. from Onvigo Travel. So thank you, Elaine, for joining us. We'll connect you with the Celestyal team over email and make sure that you get your prize delivered to you. And with that, I guess we'll wrap it up. So thank you so much, Stephanie, for joining us, and Chrissy for joining us there to help answer all those questions. Thank you to Celestyal. As we close out this webinar, you will actually be redirected to the Celestyal website. So you can see everything there that Stephanie spoke about today and more. And with that, we'll wrap things up. Thank you, Stephanie. And thank you
everyone.
Have a great afternoon, everyone. We really appreciate you joining us. Oh, there's Chrissy.
There you are, Chrissy. Bye, guys. Have a wonderful day.
Have a great afternoon, everyone. Take care.